Alright everyone, welcome to the next video. We're going to start on watercolor layer 2. And I'm going to show you how I move forward after this first layer of painting, getting more details in. So we are on the home stretch with this video series. I hope that you found it useful. Real fast before we start painting, I just want to remind you to go sign up to get your Mermaids Are Real pin on Patreon, patreon.com/talesfantastic. If you haven't yet, you need to do it by the end of September 2018 so you can get one. All right, let's go ahead and get started. I've had a little bit of time to think about this painting in between the first layer and what we're doing today. And one of the things that I've decided is that this part, this corner where in my brain the firelight or lamplight was going to be hitting the side of his body, actually isn't needed. I'm just going to make this all dark. We're not even going to be able to see his torso, probably, maybe a little bit, but not much, because I feel like it's taken away from what's actually important. And then I tried this out in my color study, which you can't see, but I think it looks pretty good. So I think that I'll start there. Like I said, it's been a while since I have worked on this painting, so I need to remember how I did the color. Mixed up the color. So I'm also going to use this as, I don't want the straw to be as light as everything else. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and cover it up. Hopefully that's not too dark. We'll see in a minute. Okay, that's pretty good. Should have done a better job keeping my layers smooth because I'm going to have a weird shape right there. And I don't want it quite that dark. So I'm going to just take out a little bit. Okay, that should be pretty good. Now, I obviously can't show you every single aspect of this. So I think we'll go ahead and start in the details of the face, because I think that you'll enjoy that the most, and then I'm going to time lapse the rest of the process. So hopefully that sounds good to you. So for that, I have to now make sure that I don't stick my hand in this, but I'm going to go ahead and get my practice, what did I call this? Just basically a color study, but just my practice watercolor, and set it right here so I can kind of refer to it as I'm working. I'm going to start out with this number 12 round brush. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is darken this side of the face. In my color study, it's definitely quite a bit darker over here, because there's not as much light hitting there. And my color study, I mean my digital one. This one, it could maybe even be a little darker, but we'll start with that and see what happens. So I just have this warm side of my palette, and I'm gonna sort of mix things together. I'm adding a little bit of the green just to kind of give it some unity, and I don't want it to turn brown. With this. Okay, let's try it. Okay, right here I'm going to go right into his mustache. I'll mix an even darker color just for that. And you can see how pointy this brush is. That makes it easier to get into the details, even though it's a big fat brush that holds a lot of water, which makes it nice. Okay, I'm going to leave that side of the mustache for now, because I want to go in and start working on some of the nose area. Get a little more red. So I'm thinking the nose has basically a plane right here that is in a little bit of shadow, and then the side of the nose over here is going to be lighter. to still say about that light on the side for the moon, I think. To get it where I want it, I'm just having my brush with water and kind of smoothing that out to get a softer edge. I want to have a shadow right here, basically, so the light is hitting a nostril and then it turns and is in a little bit of shadow. We have that crease. So my first layer, I have a hard edge kind of right there. I'm gonna blend that out a bit. So I'm just using an oil painting brush that's a little bit harder, and I'm just softening that edge. Now I'm gonna go in by the eye. He's got shadow coming underneath his eye because the light's coming from here. So it's gonna be darker on the bottom, lighter in the eyelid area. I'm gonna leave some light right there. Which I was just wishing I could look at my photo reference. It might be on my computer. It was on my iPad, but I'm using the iPad to record this. Get some of that gold in here because the light's going to be turning a bit and hitting. Still want that light area on his cheek. Get a little bit of pink to add in right over here. Not bad, I think. Say as his ear turns away from the light, it's not going to get as much over here. So I'm just going to tone that area down. It's not as light. I don't want the ear to be more important than this area. The other thing, there's probably going to be some cast shadows from here onto the ear, which is where it would be useful to have more, what would the word be? Better reference. Just to have, if I had taken a picture with someone lit like this with some kind of a collar thing on, I would know what the shadows look like. So let that be a lesson to you. So I just realized on my color study, I have a little bit of a shadow down here on the earlobe, but then it gets lighter again as it goes up, which I kind of like. Just lift out a little bit of paint I just added. Okay. That seems pretty good. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Okay. Time to let that dry. Before we mess it up. Okay, let's go work over here on that side of the eye. Just get some nice dark brown. Man. So in my color study, I left more light showing through, more of the moonlight. I think I'll probably end up going back in and fixing that with gouache. We'll see. It's one of the hard things with watercolor, is to know what to leave and what not to leave. Because right now this is too light. We'll fix it though. That's easier to fix. Okay. So one thing I don't like about this is I feel like it looks like his eyes are outlined. I do want it to have kind of a sinister look, but I don't want it to look like he has outlined eyes. Up here would be where his eyebrow is. Make that dark. We'll go ahead do the other eyebrow. And I don't want it to look flat like a cartoon. That's pretty much how I drew it, but I don't want it to look like that. Probably should have drawn it different. Okay, could probably do that even darker, but I'm afraid, guys. So we'll hold off for a minute. Leave that side alone. Well, it does look like his eyes outlined a little. If I was painting a smaller head, I'd probably be using a smaller brush. But this one seems to be working pretty well for this size for now. Okay. We're going to leave that. We'll go ahead and do the mustache. More of it anyway. So instead of doing like one black color all the way through on his beard and mustache, I'm switching it up so that there's some variation. So goes from that dark black and turns a little more brown. This makes it more interesting and fun, and not so much like chance for it to become a black hole. I think his face is starting to come alive a lot more. The goal with the second layer isn't to finish everything, but to almost finish it, I guess. Like you're still going to do another layer where you put in more detail. So I don't want this to be a hard edge right here. Soften it. I feel like the mustache is going to be catching more light than the beard. So I'm going to go ahead and cover up a lot of that light that I left on the first layer. Okay, I think that that is going to be the second layer of the face. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to time lapse, and we're going to work on the rest of the painting. It's going to take probably a few days, who knows. But hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully the time lapse now will be helpful. And I'll check back in and talk to you at various points if I feel like I need to, or maybe just at the end. So stick around. All right, everyone, that is what I'm going to call the end of layer 2. Again, the main goal of this was to sort of start adding details and extra layers of value. I'm really happy with how the gold thread is looking. It definitely looks shiny, and everything else is pretty good. The next layer is all about adding in details and stuff like that. So tune in for the next video to see that. So I haven't mentioned yet that this painting is going to have a story that goes with it, a retelling, if you will, of Rumpelstiltskin. It's a really short one, and it's available to read on talesfantastic.com. So if you want to read the story for that, go ahead over to there and you can find it. And then also don't forget one more time that if you want to get one of these mermaid buttons, you just need to sign up on Patreon at any level before the end of September 2018. And that would be patreon.com/talesfantastic. Thanks guys. Talk to you next week.